good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Ohm Service Live with me, Marky Mark, and Steve BFG. Unfortunately, we are down a member. Yes, we are down a member. Poor Betty, he is not very well, so we are wishing him all the love and big cuddles. Big cuddles for my Betty. Yeah, he's not very well, kiddos, so he's resting up, poor lad.
Man down!
Man down!
I just hope he's all good and rested for the end of the month.
Yeah, bless him.
Oh, it's weird without Betty.
Yeah, so if you could all send Betty some love, that'd be wonderful, because he needs it, poor lad.
Tenner would be nice.
Well, yeah.
If you could all send Betty a tenner, yes, please. He's going to kill me for that. Yes, I hope you are feeling better, Stevie. Get well soon.
Poor lad.
He's been in the wars, hasn't he?
He's been in the wars, toad lad. He's been seriously in the wars.
That he has with his spanners and it's not good. Dawn, darling.
Hello,
good
Dawn.
Evening.
Hello, Dawn.
Hello. Speaking of which, shall I say hello to who's in?
Oh, you may as well. Say to these lovely people in chat.
Indeed. On this wonderful, wonderful 11th of November Remembrance Day. Yes, so there'll be various services going off over the weekend, won't there?
Yeah, on Sunday, yeah.
Right. Now we are back up. Adam Stone, good evening. Fisty bump. Stevie, Black Country Vapor, and Jasper.
Buggles for Jasper.
Bronco, dude. How you doing? Dawn W. Hello, darling. Huggles. Essence of Vapes, Andy.
Fist bump.
Fee. Hello. Huggles. Free Rider Vapor. Good evening, sir. Huggles. No, that was a fist bump. Gav. Gav, what have you been doing to yourself, Gav? Gav, bruised ribs, falling over. Not good, Gav. No. Little excited by the washing machine, I fear. Oh, it's black. It's very sexy. It's a manly washing machine. It is.
I beg you.
Grateful Ant. Good evening. Dude. John Vaping Joker. Good evening. Chris. Huggles. Dude. Oh, bless you. Muster Snowman. Good evening, sir.
Gosh.
Nightbot. Yes, we know him. No, hey, I'm going to give you Huggles. Yes, because I can.
And why not?
Alan, good evening,
Alan!
sir.
Alan! Hey,
hope you're well, mate.
Good to see you.
It's lovely seeing Alan. Rian, dude. Greetings. Hope you're well, sir. Stuart Valentine. Good afternoon, good morning to us, is it?
Well, good evening, wouldn't it? No, it might be good morning.
Might be good morning. UK Andy, legend.
Fist bump.
Vapor Bunny. Hello. Oh, honk honk. Vaping Pasty, Dawny.
Buggles.
And last but by no means least, Vapor Queen Becky. Hello.
Fist bump and cuddles. It's nice to see old Lethal in. All right, Lethal. Fist bump. I was talking about you only the other day. I think it's 2 years ago since you went on that march. You know, the We Vape, We Vote march.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
That takes me back. That takes me back. It's morning.
It's morning.
It's morning, you know.
Morning.
G'day. Right.
Did you see on the... I saw it on the news, obviously talking about Armistice Day. In Australia, they had poppies all over the opera house. I looked absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Oh, oh, who snuck in? Bill. Bill, good evening, darling. Hope you're
Bill.
feeling well. Scott Morrison as well. Good
Hello,
evening.
Scott.
There we are. Yeah, well, speaking of the news, I mean, the poppies on the Sydney Opera House sounds fantastic. I'll have to try and check that out.
Yeah, look really nice.
Have you seen the threats from Belarus?
No.
Oh, I know we don't normally do politics on this, and for very good reasons, because it gets a bit messy, a bit nasty now and again. But Poland aren't happy about the amount of people coming in from Belarus, right? So the EU's turned around and said, if you don't stop letting these people through, we're going to give you sanctions. So Belarus have turned around and said, you give us extra sanctions and we're going to cut your gas off. Because there is a bloody great Russian pipeline that runs right through Belarus that supplies Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, no, surely not. And then I'm thinking, this is the geezer that effectively hijacked a plane and forced it to land. So I'm watching this one with interest. I don't normally do politics, but I
don't normally do politics. But yes, when you now say about Belarus and the Poland bit, yes, I did hear something about the camps or something that's going off.
Yeah, I've got visions of this Belarusian leader sat there with the white cat giving it that.
Wasn't there a problem with the pipeline originally in Belarus, and that's why the price hike of gas has gone up?
That I'm not sure about. I would have to have a Google foo on that. But...
I'm sure there was a problem with the actual pipeline that reduced the amount. I don't know whether it completely stopped or it reduced the amount of actual gas coming to Europe.
I'll tell you what, though, mate. I'd love to see his job description. Yeah.
See, this. I know you're talking about politics-ish. I mean, obviously, we've all been listening to COP26 on news because you can't get away from it. Kind of. How can you put it? As an island, and we're now not part of Europe and that lot, we're going to have to be very, very careful
about who we upset.
when you think about it, we are getting gas from obviously Europe, Spain, and everywhere else. Yep. We're not getting much anything from ourselves. We could be held to ransom seriously.
Oh yes.
As a nation, since we're supposed to be, independent and all that lot.
Andy's been very cheeky there. Very cheeky. Googling gas with my search history could be dangerous.
Faxi, fist bump. Oh, you're all right, buddy.
Dude. Yeah, no, we could. This was a conversation I had with somebody that was very pro-Brexit. And they were, well, we managed during the war. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, son. This is very different times to then. Because back then we were producing quite a significant proportion of our own foodstuffs.
Actually, do you know something? That's wrong.
Really?
Really. Prior to the war, the levels of actual farming was minimum. It only ramped up when the actual war kicked off, when the Second World War kicked off.
So basically, we could be in the same situation again.
Yes.
That'll be interesting. So who's Barrett Holmes getting blown up so we can grow?
Well, can't you remember? Well, you won't be able to remember, but can you remember in history they used to dig for England? Well, dig for Britain. That was the actual reason for it, because there was not the infrastructure of farming, and I believe that the farming levels now are the same prior to the Second World War.
That's interesting. Yes. Who knew? COP26. The reason we're going to start planting shit is because we're starving. Fabulous. We used to be very self-sufficient. Our own industries up and down the country. Now we have very little. Very true.
Yeah, very true.
Very true. I mean, if you look at it, back in the day, I mean, even back in the 70s, Most towns had their own little baker, their own little butcher, their own little greengrocer. Now it's all Morrison's.
Mm.
So if the national supply chain goes down, as it did, what happens? We're screwed. I don't know what to think about, but how is it cheaper to get steak from Australia than steak from a farm in England? That is a question that I often ponder.
That's quite easy, That's what you call trade deals.
True.
And a lot of trade deals happen, especially over large distances. It's so like, you buy our goods and we'll buy your goods. And then they're all special rates and all that lot. And good deals. That's how it all happens. That's how it happens all around the world.
Thank you, Rian. They pay 20 Rand a litre for petrol now. And then electricity only part of the day. You guys are spoiled. We are.
We are. Oh, God,
we
yes.
Are. You have no idea how much we are. I mean, when the biggest problem is the fact you've got nothing to wipe your arse on, I'd say that was a first world problem.
But no matter what country you live in, you're a meal away from anarchy.
Oh, God, yeah. Or a BBC News report.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong there, are you? Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it they never report on a national sex shortage?
No,
that'd
they
be
never
fabulous.
do.
Can you imagine that? I'm waking up in the morning. According to sources, there will be a national sex shortage.
Talking about sex shortage, Pasty wants a pizza seed.
Pizza seed, I like. Oh, what a fabulous idea. Well, that's Back to the Future, isn't it? Where you stick it in the rehydrator and it goes... National shortage of horizontal jogging. Indeed. I did see a post on Facebook that had me chuckling, where it was, I'm selling a lorry load full of ladies' bras. So, gents, if you send me a picture of the wife's tits, I'll send you one set out. Bunny, stop bragging.
What more can I say? What more can I say?
You're supposed to untie him now and again. That's all I'm going to say, Bunny.
Chrissy Doyle, fist bump. Hope you're all right, buddy.
Dude, I'm a born again, but oh, bless you, Pasty. It's the hands, Dawn. It's the hands. Very intimidating, them hands. Oh, to be fair, Fee, I mean, Bunny, stop it, naughty girl. We had solar panels put in by the council when I was with the wife, and changed our energy bills completely. During the day, you virtually get charged nothing. All you get in charge for is at night when you're not producing your own, because you're allowed a certain percentage.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
see, the
even
problem,
though we weren't.
I think the problem is, especially with solar panels in this country, is that there's too many fly-by-nights.
There is.
It was almost like going back into the 80s when everybody needed double glazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they popped up everywhere, and then so like 2 years later, the company's gone bust. And then it's like, well, great, who's going to maintain me solar panels and all that? And it's so like...
I'm just thinking, back in the 80s, that's when Ted Malt used to come around and put a fucking wrecking ball through your window, wasn't it?
Everest.
Yeah.
Do you know something? They got done. It wasn't long back, only a couple of years ago. You know the highest pub in England?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was something to do with them having the double glazing. And yeah, they got into trouble for it because they didn't give them permission to do the advert.
Oh, naughty.
Yeah. It was something on them lines anyway.
Oh, Rian's just put it's crazy expensive. I'm surprised at that because, I mean, obviously South Africa gets much, much more daylight hours than we do.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But has anyone got Sky Glass yet? Thinking of yes, the new Sky Telly with the built-in Sky box. I'm not seeing how much they're going to cost. Cat and Fiddle, that's the place, the very place.
See, the thing is though, and I've been like this. Call me old-fashioned or what? Sky, don't get me wrong. I would pay for Sky. Well, certain parts of Sky, I would quite happily pay for. I mean, I'm not into sports and all that lot, so none of the sports channels interest me whatsoever. But what bugs me is I still have to pay for it, bloody BBC.
True.
Now, me personally, I think because you've now got BritBox, which I think is even more worse because you're paying for something that you've already paid for. I think that's even more wrong.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
So obviously paying. I mean, I've got Disney, and obviously I've got my Amazon and that lot, and it's enough to pay. I can't afford it much more. So to have Sky as well.
Well, the Sky, I mean, if you get the full lot, sports, the works, you're looking at 50, 60 quid a month. I know there's various offers on where they tempt you in, don't they? Yeah. Yes, you can have the main package for this amount for 6 months, and you forget about it for 6 months, and all of a sudden you're whacked.
Me personally, I don't think television is going to last much longer in the format that it is. Because you look at how many people stream now or watch actually things on television, YouTube, and that kind of stuff. There's loads and loads of like documentary TV shows that you know you subscribe. There's one I forget the name of it. It's only something like is it $2.99 for the year, and it's got a plethora of different documentaries.
My beloved's just put I pay 440 odd for Sky with multi-room and broadband.
Yeah, you are getting broadband as well. So you can take, 30 quid off that.
Well, that's what bugs me, because Fee, Ria, behave. You can't wire a child up to an alternator.
Why not?
We tried that in the 1800s and got our wrist slapped. Oh, that's not bad. Got rid of
but
Virgin.
the thing is, that opened me up. The originally OAPs used to get the TV license for free, but now they've scrapped that one.
It's a bit naughty.
I think it's wrong. In fact, me personally, I think they ought to get rid of the BBC and have blooming adverts on it if it's going to be that bad.
Is Alan in the smoke, perchance?
What's that?
London.
Sorry?
Alan, he's down London way.
He's definitely in London.
Right. I was just intrigued because he got rid of Virgin, a company called Hyperoptic, 1 gigabyte up, 1 gigabyte down, 38 quid a month. This is the thing. When you live out in the middle of nowhere, like we do, I mean, shit, how long's it taking us to get just fibre to the cabinet? Years.
Oh, God, I've only had fibre to the cabinet now, and that's to the cabinet. Blooming out. When did that happen? About 2 years ago, if that. I know that Rosington, which is not a million miles away from where I live, was the last village to get broadband.
Blimey. Mine, Rosso.
Yeah, but it's a big place, Rosington. Really.
Oh, it is now.
Oh, it has been for many years. In fact, it used to be one of the biggest classed villages in England.
Really?
Really? Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about 5, 6 years ago. But yeah, originally.
I still remember when all new houses went up. You bought a new building, Rosso.
Yeah, I know the Channel 4 is owned by the government. I
It
remember
is.
sitting up and getting that at the first. Hello and welcome to Channel 4. Gling, 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 gling.
Here's the programs you're really interested in. They have the triangle. God, I remember when they showed their first foreign film that actually allegedly showed somebody sort of. My God, that was a talking point in the old school table the following day.
When you're talking about profits and things like that, what really winds me up about the BBC is a company called the BBC World. Now, what they do, I've mentioned this way before, BBC World is an independent company from the BBC. BBC World sell television programmes to America and the rest of the world. So they sell Top Gear and all that kind of stuff. But when they sell the said programmes, the money doesn't go back into the BBC. It goes into the BBC World. So we don't see it. So it's an independent company that's making profit from money that we're providing to make programmes.
How dare they?
Which is wrong. I think it's just totally wrong.
Buddy, Eurotrash was must watch.
Oh, God, I used to love Eurotrash.
Oh, bonjour. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, people doing artwork with shit.
True. It was just, it made no bones about it either. There was no pretense of a script or storyline or whatever. It was there for the boobs, and that was it.
Yeah, of course it was.
Now, I mean, it's interesting though, because the BBC World and the flogging of the DVDs and that was sort of late 80s, early 90s, wasn't it? When the big BBC sell-off started. And I still can't work out how they got away with it, to be honest. Because as you say, it's publicly funded.
It's a publicly funded, but...
So where's all the profits going from the resales?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
They did bring back Eurotrash, and it wasn't the same because it needed Jean-Paul Gaultier. OTT in the balloon dance. Oh, yes. This is a song, the bucket of water song. Sorry, Lola Ferrari. God almighty, there's a chest
you're not wrong there,
Faxi,
Faxi, to pay people like Gary Lineker.
Oh, God. I thought he was boring when he was sort of kicking a ball about.
I think he ought to go back to his crisps. 1.3 million for 15 minutes of work. Jeeps.
I wish. I'm in the wrong business.
Seriously, in wrong business.
I used to want to be Ron Jeremy, not now. Speaking of Ron Jeremy, I introduced Dawn to the Boondock Saints last night.
Right.
She'd never seen it. What a film. I forgot how good that film is.
Talking about films,
Oh,
I watched a really good one. It's not new. It came out in 2020. The Book of Bloods. It's the reimagination of a couple of stories from Clive Barker's Book of Bloods. The shorts. I enjoyed it. It wasn't very. It was. How can you put it? It didn't keep with the book, but it was. I would class it as more of a reimagination of the book. But I enjoyed it. It's 3 stories in one. Film. The film's only an hour and 50-something minutes long, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So, and the second one is War of the Worlds series. I am so loving that.
Oh, yes.
And thirdly, I watched the first Doctor Who the other night, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was reasonably good. I haven't watched the second part yet.
I'm not going to spoil anything by saying it, but the second one is far superior.
I was genuinely, considering how bad Chibnall and all them lot have screwed up Doctor Who, I was quite impressed with it. And the Scouse lad, what's his name?
Oh, John. Oh, what's he called? Help. It's in the War of the Worlds live show. Awesome.
Oh, the live show's fantastic.
John. Oh, the Scouse comedian. John. Yeah, Alan. June. The remake is awesome.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's superb. It's really annoying, though, because they're still not 100% whether part 2 is going to get made yet. Bishop, thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Vapor Essence.
Gaily! Huggles, darling.
Huggles! That were a bit dramatic, that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, whoever put that squirrel post up on Facebook's going to burn. Have a look at the bitches page. It was funny as.
I haven't seen it, sorry. Not been on Facebook for the last 2 days. Well, I put a post up about the live show, but that's about it. I just haven't had time.
To be fair, the dog I thought was going to be a bit childish, but that was actually funny. Bunny, that was so funny. I am squirrel, fear my squirrel wrath. Honestly, it was hilarious. Go check it out. It's well worth a look. No, the dog thing with John Bishop, I thought that was going to do a usual Chibnall and just backfire horribly. But it actually really works.
I thought he really worked.
There's a hint of more of a backstory to that character, which was good.
I thought it was good with the dog, though.
I like the idea that the whole race, each dog has to protect a human.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah. But I was so pleasantly surprised that he just... I mean, obviously, it's going to be her last special because she's leaving after this one. So it's a shame that the rest of it wasn't as good as what's being produced now.
Oh, Gaily, take care, darling. Oh, that's a horrible job. I hope you're all right. No, sorry, they've just
Big
finished clearing
sweetheart.
Right. Oh, man. Simon, good evening, sir.
Immortal Mods are doomed as well. Oh, shit.
Doom X, yay or nay? Ah, interesting.
Yay. I'll go for a yay. Yay.
I've not seen it yet.
Simon. Fizz bump. Nice to see you, buddy. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're all right.
Yeah. No, I mean...
He's all right. I read his message. I thought it was Mortal Mods doomed. I thought, oh, God, not another mech company going down.
Oh, God, no. Mind, I have seen some rather nice-looking mechs. Some of them have been a bit va-va-voom, but... yeah, there's some nice stuff sort of bubbling around.
I've got to admit, I like Mortal Mods anyway. Because you've got the blue one.
Mick's got it in his cart.
How much are they retailing at, though? That's the interesting bit. I like them, though. I've got to admit, I've always liked that style. But, You'll have to let me know. I ain't bought a mech. I ain't looked, to be honest with you, I haven't looked at mechs in a while. Have you? I keep on seeing all the Russian ones on Instagram and that lot.
Yeah, but they're like sort of food porn. You know, you look at it, you drool a bit, but you're never going to make it. You know. Mind saying that, I do have a habit of just making these things. 150 with the RDA.
Glad you're on the mend, Simon. Big love, buddy.
That's not cheap.
Well, 150?
Yeah, with the RDA.
With the RDA, that's cheap. That is cheap when you think about it. If you're getting an RDA with it as well.
Yeah, but to my tight Yorkshire soul, that hurts.
It's still a lot of money, but 150 for a mech and an RDA?
Fair point. Fair point.
I don't think that is expensive. I mean, you think about it. If you bought, I don't know, a Lost Vape, whatever, and then stuck an RDA on top of it, that's going to be 150 quid. Even if you bought something that, a £60 mod and then got a decent RDA to fit on it, or even a decent tank, you're looking over 100 quid.
Yeah. I think the problem is we've all got used to this stuff.
Hey up me duck, I've got a Purge mod that's definitely in that price bracket. In fact, I've got two that's in that price bracket.
And it's gorgeous. But we've all got used to this, haven't we? The 30 quid, the 40 quid, the 15 quid.
I mean, we've said it loads of times. I mean, once upon a time, an RDA cost you anything from 50 quid upwards for a decent RDA. And Met modded anything from 200 to 400 quid. If you wanted a squonk mod, you were paying 300 and 400 quid for a decent squonk mod. Nowadays, everything is just cheap as hell.
Cheap as chips.
It
but
is.
It's not lasting. And dual battery mods. Well, I can't think of a modern one that's lasted longer than 6 months for me. Not something that was produced in the last couple of years. I've got plenty of stuff from older than that that's still firing away.
Yeah. I mean, Mitch just said he paid 400 quid for his slam piece.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, but it's
nice.
It's one of them things, isn't it? I mean, I like the new one that they've got. Well, I say new one. It's where it's a side firer, but the button's near enough at the bottom.
Ooh.
That's quite nice, but again, it's expensive.
A side button.
Ooh. But the side button is really, whereas you've got your mod, it's really low down.
Do that again. Oh, nice.
Feel better now?
No.
Done. Go get me a towel.
The throbbing started. Matron.
Well, this kind of brings me on to a nice segue, this. As you all know, I've been doing a few reviews of lately, and so like couple of Vapor SOs, you've got the Origin X and all that kind of stuff. Recently, it's been the Oxra one and all that lot. Coils. Got to talk about coils. I'm not on about rebuildable coils. I'm on about stock coils. I keep on getting a lot of questions about longevity. Now, me personally, this is me. When I was at the vape shop, people used to say, well, how long's my coil going to last? Now, I always used to say between a week and 10 days, approximately, depending on what wattage you're using on your device, how often you're using the device, and then obviously what e-liquid you're using. Obviously, if you're using a sweet e-liquid, obviously the caramelization obviously clogs up your coil and reduces its lifespan. So what, in your guys' experience, would you say that the average coil, we're not going to go special coils, the average coil lifespan is? Because I'm always worried that I'm sort of like, when replying to these, especially new starters, how long a coil lasts, am I over spanning it by saying a week to 10 days? Because I know I have definitely had some Malaysian juices that's ruined my coil within a day.
This is it. It's the e-juice more than anything.
So, what's your experience? How long does a coil roughly last you?
Right. If it's in the pod and I'm using 50-50 salts, I will get 5 to 7 days. Yeah. At 32 watts, that's using Riot Squad salt, so not overly sweet. I've used just jam, and that's killed them in 2 days. I mean, when I'm not at work, I am a heavy vapor. So I would say your average bloke, your sort of puff pass, is probably about 5 days, 4 days on a sweet, But it
So,
also,
so what I am saying is about right, because it's very. I mean, I get emails regularly or comments on the actual post whenever I uploaded a review, and they instantly start asking about coil longevity, and I just feel like am I being overzealous by saying over a week?
well, I mean, Alan's just made a very good point. The only stock coil he uses is for his Cocoa Prime. That lasts him a month, but he only uses it when he goes out.
Yeah.
So it's all down to how much you're going to use it as well. Plus, there's other stuff. I mean, there's like I'm currently. I was a naughty boy today. I walked in and I thought, sod it, I'm having that. Deep rate per Zeus Nano 2. But uses boost coils. So I have a boost. I have coils. Makes sense. I'm expecting this probably to die in about 3 days. But saying that, I'm running at 15 watts higher than I do in the boost. I'm using 70-30 juice instead of 50-50 Nick salts. So I'll be happy with 3 days. But I will be using the boost as my daily banger. Because in particular, I mean, it's the size of it. You know, the boost, I can just slip into my glove compartment.
I mean, Knowles just turned around and said, what? Wait, you need to change the coils? And Gav, he uses the PMP coils, and they last him 3 weeks, and uses it all day at work.
See, now, PMP coils, I don't know whether I've had bad batches or what, because I've found that the Watofo coils that you can use as PMP replacements gave me much better longevity.
But you are a big Riot Squad fan, though, aren't you? You normally have them in. So are they're 50-50, though, aren't they?
They're 50-50, and they're not overly sweet. Interestingly, I've gone back to my old brand, which was the Salts. They are a little bit sweeter, so I might be able to have a little experiment there and see whether they last any longer. But, yeah.
Okay, fist bump. Hope you're all right, buddy. Yeah, it is one of them weird ones, isn't it, that everyone seems to gripe about, is the longevity of coils.
At the end of the day, if you want longevity and minimal cost, build your own.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, definitely. But obviously, a lot of pod systems, you can't do that.
No, but there are RDA attachments for various pod systems.
But even I don't know whether it's me or what, I still don't think these RBA replacements, they do work, but I don't think they're exactly ideal, because let's face it, most of them aren't designed for rebuildable.
No, I mean, it's very much mouth to lung, the RBA decks for the pod systems. I mean, if you're looking for a restricted direct to lung, forget it. Not with the pod rebuildables. The Watofo coils, mate, if you Google Watofo PMP replacement, it will come up. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the actual coils are called, because my coils are all in the ottoman over there. So I'm not going to leap up and rummage in my ottoman.
Now, another question I'm going to ask you. Do you think coils are expensive?
Stocks, yeah. What they are. I was hoping that the ability to build your own mesh coils, which I really enjoyed doing, would take off more than they have. But I think what we're finding is, and you've always said it, when people are quitting, they don't want to be building.
Oh yeah, of course, no.
They want to plug and play.
And we are definitely getting plug and plays now.
100%.
Oh God! I mean, I've just reviewed this beauty, The MK Pro class was a lovely name. I mean, you can't get any more plug and play than that. Literally, there is nothing to it. It's auto draw. You just change your coils and you just press fit it. Boom, that just fits in there. You cannot get much more faff-free than that.
But why the engraving on it?
I like it. I like the engraving. I don't think it's designed for us lads. I think it's more designed for the feminine person. But you've got to be careful saying stuff like that because it's snowflakes. But yeah, I can quite imagine a young lady or a lady going out and having this in a purse. I really do.
I mean, it's a top-end pod.
Oh yeah, of course it is. It's top of the range pod. And I think it looks really elegant in that. You know, especially for a girl. I really do. I mean, I wouldn't be seen dead walking around with one of these. Especially that colour. The black one and the gunmetal, they don't look too bad. But, yeah, the engraving's lovely on it. Really is nice and comfy.
Don's just said, not with my hands.
Yeah, that's a good point. Compared to 20 cigarettes a day, a coil are not expensive. But
100%. And let's remember, the plug and play is getting people off the fags.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, me, if I'm looking for a quantity of vape, it's the pod.
Bunny, you are welcome to it, sweetheart.
If I'm looking for a quality of vape, I will use one of me RDAs, one of me drippers, you know, and I get a much more satisfying vape off that. The fiddle, the tuning, the strumming, the wicking.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like where I work now. I have literally not got time to rebuild. I haven't got time to re-wick or anything like that. So I've had to revert back to actually using stock coils now, because it's so like I always like to keep a spare stock coil just in case the one that I'm vaping on decides to give up the ghost. Whereas so like if for argument's sake I normally take a tank or I take an RDA, if that goes, I haven't got time to re-wick and make a new one, if you understand what I mean. So I thought, right, okay, I'll go back onto the stock coils. Now I've been using the UB Pro from Lost Vape tank. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I love them coils. I think the coils are fantastic. The only thing I don't like about the tank is obviously the bung bit that you have to fill up with. But besides that, the coils are fantastic on them. I really do like it. Now they're lasting me with a 70-30 VG-PG lemon curd, which is quite sweet. They've been lasting me, about 5 days?
That's not bad.
So I don't think that were bad.
That's not bad at all. I mean, the fugly, you know, that always lasted me well on the stock coils, to be fair. And I was running some fairly sweet juice through that. So,
Bunny, just send me your address, sweetheart.
Send him the address. I'll have the photos, Bunny. All right.
Just send me your address. That's it. That's all you need. I'll get that sent over to you.
No fun.
With some extra coils as well.
There's a joke in there, but no.
Oh, I'm loving the Arbiter 2. The Arbiter 2 is absolutely fantastic. Love you too, sweetie.
Jealous now.
It's cracking. But it's like I said in my review, because obviously was it this week I reviewed it? Video came out? Yeah, well, this week. To be fair, even though they've changed the airflow, I can't tell much of a difference between this and the original Arbiter. I don't know if that's... It is a bit smoother when you take a draw, I've got to admit, you know, when you're actually taking a pull of it. But the actual flavour-wise and that lot, they are on par with each other. I like both of them.
I mean, that's the one thing I do find. With the stock coil, the flavour's never anything spectacular.
What have I missed now?
Sorry, Bunny. was what can I say? I like a mohawk. Yeah.
Dude.
No, I mean this is the thing though. I mean, back in the day, again, back on the drippers, the flavour is just mind blowing.
Mm.
You know, when I go back onto those from using the pod, you remember why you got hooked on them.
I literally, because of the stuff that's coming for review and where I'm working at the moment, I haven't actually been able to use an RDA in a mech properly. I actually miss it. I really do miss it. It's why I shoved this on. This is on the Soul Keeper. Just to have that feel of a mech.
I fired at the Battle Axe the other day. Been a long time since I've given her any attention. Sort of gave her a polish and a quick fire. And
yeah, there's something about a mech. I don't care what anyone says. The mech and an RDA, yeah.
It's like sitting there on the sofa with a big old balloon glass of brandy. Yeah, it's just something luxurious about it. It's fabulous. RTAs and RDAs are good if you can wick. That's the thing, though, because when those were my only choices, you learned bloody quickly.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I mean, nowadays, especially, so like you've got the Arbiters, the Zeus X, which is about 3 years old now. Yep. Zeus X, you could blooming wick that up being blindfolded, and it's still wicking.
It was so forgiving.
Yeah, another one that's so forgiving was the Intake Duel.
I never tried the Intake.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no special wicking methods. You just dropped him in, and it worked fine. Another one, which is even older than that, is the OBS Engine 2.
Yep.
Cracking little RTA.
I had the original engine. What a pain in the arse that was.
Yeah, that was a pain in the arse. Another one, if you like big, slightly bigger tanks for RTAs, is your Steam Craves. Your Ragnars, your Aromizers, they are so forgiving, especially on wicking. They're just so forgiving, RDAs they are. Well, RDTAs as their class does.
I'm trying to think now. There was a bottom feed one, and unless you got the coil at the exact micromillimeter, you got nothing. You got restricted cloud and bugger all flavour out of it. And I'm trying to think what it was. I'm sure it was a Geek Vape.
And the Arbiter Solo, another one. Really easy to wick. Single coil, but I mean, you can't go wrong with that one.
I re-wicked Dawn's the other night. It was done and dusted in about 40 seconds.
Chris has said about the Fat Rabbit. Well, I've heard different rumours about the Fat Rabbit. You have to be careful how you wick that one. It's not as forgiving as the ones that we've mentioned. I've heard quite a lot of people have try it from the Fat Rabbit.
See, the Dead Rabbit.
Oh, the Dead Rabbit RDA's different kind of visual altogether.
That was my... If somebody was saying to me, I want to get into it, I would always push them towards the Dead Rabbit.
Dead Rabbit or a Drop?
Drop. Oh, I
it's
love
so
my drop.
Easy to... wick aren't so easy to coil.
That's how... When I look back on it, some of my first RDAs, you know, I'm trying to think. What was one of the first? Oh, Serpent. Oh, fuck me. Really? I hated that tank. I think Matt was having a bad day and just wanted people to suffer with him. And what was the green one? The one with the
recoil.
The recoil.
I liked the recoil, but I just didn't like the posts.
The fun and games I had with that.
I did like it. It was a night. Once you had actually built it, we were fine. But it was, because you had to do your Well, the anti. Yeah, you had to do anti-clockwise coils.
Yeah, and how much wire did I waste before I twigged that?
And
Jesus.
It was only, if I remember rightly, it was only it was 25 mil diameter, but the actual deck inside was only about 19.
Oh, thingy as well. Speaking of small decks, you always used one for the juice reviews. I've gone completely dead. This is how long it is since we've talked about vape shit. The Wasp Nano.
Oh, I've still got the Wasp Nano. Where is it?
Yeah, you have.
My little Wasp Nano. Still got
I've got mine, but with fingers this size, mate, it
Oh,
doesn't
you've
make
got
for
no
a good
hope.
experience.
You've got no hope.
I've got little tiny screwdrivers, and I'm trying to ease it into this. Oh, what a nightmare that was. Oh, for God's sakes. Still got a freak show in use.
Really? Nice one. I used to like the freak show.
Troll V2. Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, let him do what he wants.
No.
Oh, fucking arsehole.
Sod you. Thanks, Bunny.
Thanks, Bun.
You and me spot it at the same time. I'm seeing him at the weekend, Faxi, so...
He'll be getting you on Saturday. We haven't seen each other for a while.
Oh, and I'm getting to meet the other lady in his life.
Yeah, you get to meet Millie.
I do. But, oh, man. Blimey, that went down the wrong hole, as the actress said to the bishop. Troll V1.
Yeah, we've got the Troll V1 somewhere knocking about.
Was it the...
It was a leg cutter, because back in them days, when you're talking about the trolls and that lot, the actual posts had holes in them all the way through. They want a solid post. So it looked like when you put your wire in, it almost guillotined your wire off. Oh, those were the days.
The amount of old tanks I've got where if you over tighten the screws, it just goes ding,
ding. Yeah, you just frightened of just. I want to tighten a little bit more, a little bit. Nah, I fucked it.
Oh man, I mean, it used to be Vapor Tourette's, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Hey up, Matt.
Hey up, Matt. And Mike.
And
dude.
Mike. Fist bump. Hope you're all right.
And this is the thing. When the lads are reviewing on camera and we get chatting and people say, there's nothing to whinge about anymore. There isn't.
They're in.
When you compare it to how some of the, I mean, God almighty, some of them were literally wire cut with screws, weren't they? Yeah. You were looking for the teeth on the end of it. Because everything you screwed in would either cut the coil or it was, as I said, millimeter positioning that you had to have it. It had to be like 3 millimeters above the deck and so many millimeters down to the airflow. And what size lengths do you think legs on a coil should be approximately? I just got a coily tool, and what length do you recommend your legs should be at?
Depends on what you're building on. Each RDA and RDTA all have different lengths.
Now, the good bit is, if you go onto the website, I believe there's a list of the more common tanks, and it tells you what length to use.
Yeah, it all literally depends.
The coily is a godsend. I could kiss Simon for making that.
Yeah, if you go on the coily website, it'll tell you approximately.
Or most reviewers will do throw in the coily measurements on it. I used to find 4.5 to 5 mil was a good starting place if you weren't sure.
Something on like that, See, I don't gauge it by length. I gauge it by my fingers. I know it sounds stupid. I've got a coil.
Yeah, but
There's
you've
a
got
coil.
little bitty fingers.
What I normally do is grab my finger and my thumb, and then where my thumb lands, that's where I trim it. Especially on something like a dead rabbit. Literally, grab hold of the coil with your finger and your thumb, where your thumb lands, that's where you trim it. Which roughly is what?
Yeah, I do
Five
that, mate.
mil.
You do it, you get 5 mil. I do it, and I end up with 9 mil legs.
Well, I'm telling the truth. This is how I do it. It's just one of them things.
Oh, 30 quid for Albertocello RTO with an extra large bubble glass.
Nice one.
Yeah.
You'll not regret it. It's a blooming cracking tank.
It's one of the best ones I've got.
And it's probably the best one that does both mouth to lung and restricted direct to lung in equal measures.
There's not many that can play jack of all trades. Thank God for that. I thought he was going to finish that right. See, this is the thing, though. I mean, that's what I like about the coiling. If you got one, great. I mean, I don't use them exclusively, but if I've got something that I know the coiler will give me perfect leg length, fine, I'm in. Neil, good evening, sir.
But, Faxi, regarding what you're using, basically the fours is exactly the same as the dead rabbit. You don't have to worry about leg length. You just set the coils to the height that you want it, and then you just go underneath and just trim them. That's it. It's not exactly, especially with the dead rabbit-esque fours one that you're on about. It's, without sounding rude, it's not rocket science. As long as your legs are not touching the deck, you're going to be fine. So if you've got a mill hanging underneath the actual posts, it's not going to affect it. As long as the actual legs of the coil are not touching the deck, you're fine. So you just guesstimate it just by putting one coil in, thinking, right, that's going to be too high, just to for your deck, and just bend your coils out and trim them. That's it. Drop it down. You don't need it to be exact. I think where you need to be exact for coil length measurement is more for like a postless deck. That's when you start needing to be a little bit more careful of what size legs you actually have. But something like a dead rabbit or a drop or things like that, even a whatchamacallit, like a twisted mess style deck, twisted mess 2 style deck, even them, you don't need to be so accurate it needs to be 4 mil or it needs to be 5 mil. You can roughly gauge it once you actually start building.
A lot of it's just using it. Because I'll tell you now, unless it's one of those horrible old tanks where you've got to be at an exact level, everybody's got a different leg length. We can all use the same tank.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I prefer, a slightly windier draw. Some people like it to be a direct on the coil draw.
I mean, it's like with these, with the Arbiter 2, they recommend, I think it's a 5 mil leg.
That's a long leg.
On these. Now, I actually did it a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Because I like to have it, me coils slightly higher and wider apart. So obviously I can get the cotton in, and it works fine because the design of the airflow.
Now here's one for you. When you're making coils, what's your go-to diameter internal?
Internally, normally 3 mil. I'm a 3 mil kind of person. I used to be a 2.5 a lot on my mechs. That was when it was sort of like 22 decks. But when we started getting bigger decks, I went straight to 3 mil.
See, I normally 3.5. But I mean, I find them, as I say, I have not got fingers made for delicate work, so it just makes it a little easier for me. Bill cuts is at 4.5.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
the
let's
extra
face it, half a mil's neither near there, unless you're measuring somewhere else.
Round up, love,
then
round
every
up.
half a mil counts. But I suppose it's like anything else. It depends on how accurate you want to be. If I mean, you can get a company that will say, right, you need a length this size for this RDA, but it depends on you as well. It depends on what type of airflow you like. If you like a really air draw, you might need to raise them a little bit higher. If you there's tweaks, because we're all different, and the height of your actual coils depends on sort of like spit back, the flavour, all sorts. There's lots of things to consider.
The only drawback I have with the SoulOhm, you know, when you refill, always buggers up your airflow settings.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Every time. And you forget, especially if you're in a rush. You know, you think, oh shit, I'm getting low. Blurt. Whack it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Then you're buggering around again. But
well, it's not too much of a bugger around. I think the biggest pain is does it go to mouth to lung when you screw it back on, or is it direct to lung? I forget which one it does.
Goes to mouth, I think.
But for considering the design of it, I still think it's a clever little design.
It's a great tank. Don't get me wrong. That's my gripe. But again, I'm a clumsy bugger, so you know. But if I had a choice between an Arbiter and something else, I'd probably go for the Arbiter, to be fair. What we got? I always use 3mm ID for RDA, RTA, 2.5mm for mouth to lung. I've got a tank with dual 7mm ID. Jesus Christ.
Cool.
That's a toaster.
You see, this is what I love about it, especially when you start talking about RTAs and RDAs. You can play around.
Yeah.
You can absolutely play around. You can try different settings. And you'll eventually, once you've played around a bit, you'll eventually find the one that works for you. Well, it's like when I used to, I mean, it's been a long time since I've done it, but when I used to wind my own coils, I used to use, I started off on 26 gauge, then went down to 24 gauge. 22 gauge seemed to be happy for a good while. And then I went to 20 gauge, and then it was just playing around with 20 gauge. 20 gauge is like blooming chicken wire. And it was sort of like, right, on my mechs, 20 gauge, it was 5 wraps, came out roughly around about a 0.11. Ramp up time was absolutely fantastic, especially on Canthal. If you used stainless steel 20 gauge, you needed an extra wrap to keep it same ohms. But yeah, the ramp up time were brilliant, especially on round wire. But people don't really use round wire anymore.
See, Nichrome 20 was always my go-to.
See, Nichrome 20, that was a really good ramp up, especially on a Mac.
Oh, it was a lovely ramp up. Voltrove Endgame takes 1.5 inches of Muji pad just to wick it.
Oh, me like.
I like. Arr, power. Anything that takes 1.5 inches, dear. Fabulous.
Do you know, you've got me right, Giddy. I'm going to get some 20 gauge out and build one of my RDAs.
Well, the one that made me laugh was we were around at Mark's one night and we got some 24 wire. I was having problems there coiling something. And he just went, have you tried twisted? Yeah. Oh, I ain't got any twisted. What do you mean you haven't got any twisted? So he loops some wire out table and just starts.
All by hand.
Next thing you know, I've got perfectly twisted wire. We did 5 wraps on that, didn't we? I think I had those coils in for about 6 months. Oh, it was gorgeous.
I did it with our Aiden. I'll never forget. Where were we? We were at an expo, and I think he'd got his first Wasp Nano,
Mm.
and he only had some. I think it was either 26 gauge or 24 gauge. It was really thin wire he had, and he wanted a decent. And I did that for him. So I just like doubled up the wire, put one piece of wire on the door of the of the Premier in, and started twisting it. Made it twisted, wrapped it, and yeah, you were happy as Larry.
You got cracking flavour off Twisted.
You do. The reason why is because obviously your wire's twisted, you're getting the wells, and the juice actually drops into that wells, and obviously that when you fire, it gives you a nice pop. You're not getting spit back. It's flavour wise.
Oh, it's nice. Use a biro to make Twisted. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think what did you use? I think you just used a screwdriver.
A screwdriver. I've used big nails. I've used whatever's to hand. I've used scissors before.
My God, back in the day.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I mean, I was getting just as good a flavour off them that I do these alien Claptons that I'm using now. I'm just being lazy for not making my own.
Was it Demon Killers? I bought a load off Amazon. And they had all these amazing names, like Tiger Coils and Juggernauts and all the rest of it. And horror, power, yeah.
You don't hear that no more, though, do you?
No.
You don't hear about coils and that. I used to love it at the expos, and I'd sit and watch them. You'd have these blokes, and they're doing all this like with all these wires, and it's all like, what? And then it'd come out, and it's this lovely braided blooming coil, and you're thinking, wow.
Oh, some of the braids they used to do were gorgeous.
But you don't, you just, I don't know whether I'm not following the right circles or what, but all that seems to have died off.
Yeah, coil porn's not a thing anymore, is it?
No. You don't see it on Instagram as much nowadays. I mean, it's like even cloud comps.
Yeah.
What happened to the good old-fashioned cloud comp? We used to get, honestly, you used to get them regular, at vape shops. They'd have a meet after hours, and there'd be cloud comps and all sorts. All that lot's just gone.
I think SoulOhm's like a 7-strand Celtic braid. Oh, yes. Oh. Now you're talking. That's just naughty. I mean, do you remember when Claptons, just somebody making their own Claptons, that was a big thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. I keep promising myself. It's weird. Once you get into it, it's one of those skills that you don't realise you need until you actually do it. And I bought myself a simple little jig setup from Amazon again. In fact, I think I brought the toolkit because I was after a few bits and pieces. And the jig that came with it, nothing fancy, nothing expensive, wasn't a coil master or anything. But by God, the difference it made in the constant quality of the coils. You didn't get when I was winding them around screwdriver, sort of I'd have 4 good coils and 1 dud. With the jig, perfect every time.
You see, I remember when the Coil Master first came out, it was wow, this is revolution, this. I mean, I was originally the first type of coiling I ever did was with silica wick with 32 gauge, and you double folded your silica wick, and then you wrapped your wire around the actual silica wick. That's how you used to do it. And then obviously when we went on to cotton, it was like, wow, we've got to make actual proper coils now. And then it was a screwdriver. Yeah. Literally, just a screwdriver, and you used to wind them yourself. And blooming heck, I got good at that. Round wire, to actually make a coil with round wire, doing it yourself like that neatly was an art in itself. And it
doing
really
that
was.
Doing that with 20 gauge.
Oh yeah, you knew about it. But things like the Coil Master, do they still sell them?
I believe so.
Because you rarely ever hear up from Coil Master anymore.
I think I was horrified at how much they were actually charging for the toolkits. Admittedly, you've got a firing ohm reader in there, which is,
Let's face it, a firing ohm reader, a build, or should we say a build station. I remember when they first came out, it's like, wow, you've got an ohms reader and you can fire your coils.
I remember watching Vic using his and I was thinking, but at the end of the day, all you need is an ohm reader.
But how many people actually own an ohm reader?
Me.
They did rip them off, but I mean, blooming heck, who owns one now? I'd love to know how many people own an ohms reader.
There's no build tab. Use that Ruby 21. I've not built mine up yet. I use my Vindicator so I can put the RDA on my DNA first. Jay made me one.
Yeah.
I still remember that shop you went into and you asked the girl behind the counter for an ohms reader.
She didn't even know what one was. She didn't know what an ohms reader was. I mean, that, to be honest with you, that's another thing Gav's just put. He uses his mod. Now, mods nowadays are pretty accurate when it comes to reading ohms. But back in the day, no, I wouldn't trust a mod to read me ohms.
Oh, God, no.
And that's how far, technology has come in the actual vaping industry that you can use a mod just to check your ohms.
I mean, my first mod was the Kanga box, and there's no way I'd have trusted anything.
Did that have an ohms on it? That was just
I think it
power
did.
to 40 watt, wasn't it? That little light.
No. The K box.
Oh, the K box.
That definitely had the ohms on it. It was tiny. You needed a fucking magnified glass to see it, but Coil Master tools and jigs for about £17. I shall have a look, young Faxi. But yeah, I mean, again, and we're back to stock coils. That's killed it dead.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What you get now is you got a call for this.
Oh, God, that was my bane in my life. That was.
I don't know how Bonnie puts up.
Go call for that. And that's as quick as you say, well, what the hell was that? And it was always a bloody smock tank. Oh, I hated... At least, right, most tanks have their name on it of what it is. Smock? No, they don't. No. And they all look the bloody same. So you go, well, what coil is it you're after? I don't know. You work in a vape shop.
Mark says, not one word.
Honestly, that is the bane of anybody that works in a vape shop. Go for that. They used to make me chuckle. They used to have rubber bands all over them and still say, "I'm gonna go for that." I had one person come in, I'll never forget it. It was the base of the tank. It was a smock tank, but it was just the base. There was no glass, there was no top piece, and they wanted a coil for it. And it's like, ow.
There is one thing to be said for stock coils. You can't kiss the dragon.
I've only ever done it once in 10 years.
I've done it a few times. Normally on the goon.
Oh, the Hadron Pro. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh. Oh, nice. See, this is why I've always wanted a Yee mod.
Why?
For there's something about Yee. I know there's people out there that prefer the DNA, but to me, Yee's always like the sort of the line, yeah. When it came to quality,
I did like the early SXs, I've got to admit. Wasn't a mega fan of the G class, but the earlier SXs I did like. But
never.
the only downside to SX, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to drain your batteries. Even if you weren't using the buggers, they still drained your batteries.
I'll burn my thumb. At one point, I almost constantly had coil patterns burnt into my thumb.
Oh yeah, I've had that loads of times. Yes, my coil has cooled. No, it hasn't. Why is this coil stuck to my finger?
It's the sizzle it makes, and then the smell.
It's a very good mod.
Very nice.
It is. It's very, very nice. Review coming up next week, by the way.
Well slipped in there, dear boy. Well slipped in. Yes.
Talking about the SoulOhm channel, I want to give a big shout to everybody that's voted for me on the EC Click. I've been nominated. I'm in the top 10, so we've got to get to obviously the winner and that lot. So yeah, for everybody that's voted, thank you very much. I do really appreciate that. So I'm in the top 10.
And for those that did nominate it, Mark, thank you. Honestly, I must admit, I was one. But we didn't. Yes, it is smut time, Gav. We didn't push it.
No.
And to see Mark in the top 10 is absolute. Thank you. Honestly.
So yeah, the it's now got to the final. We're on the finals now. I believe the voting closes on the 23rd of this month. So if I could get in the top 3, that'd be blooming awesome. So
it's happened before.
So big thanks. I want to say honestly, genuinely, hand on heart, it was our Aiden, little bro. He messaged me this morning and said that obviously our Aiden's got into the top 10 as well. So good chuff for him. And Gav Flat Cap, he's in top 10 as well. So and I'm in top 10. So he's like, I was well chuffed.
Fabulous.
What that does mean, though, I will be able to get another nomination sticker to add to me wallpaper.
Yay!
So I'm just well chuffed that I've been nominated. So,
well, again, the guys that voted for him, thank you, because I'm biased. Speaking of biased and all the rest of it, it's getting late, kid.
It's blooming heck. That's not bad since we said that it was only going to do an hour.
I want to know where it's gone.
Yeah, I know. That has gone really, really quickly.
And it's been vapey stuff.
It's all been vapey.
That's scary. Retro vapey as well.
I like retro vapey. I'm retro vape.
Well, I mean, again, the 30 quid chunk of plastic, it does the job, but it's not got much soul, has it?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, they work and they work well, but no soul.
Not like the truck.
Oh, I love my truck. I just wish they'd done a 21700 version.
Oh, Mike, bless you. I did spot your comment earlier, mate. Sorry, we were in the middle of talking about something. Mike's got a T-class that he doesn't use. Bless.
And Bill Richard says, have you checked your temperatures, guys? Not recently.
Why?
Well, Bill, why would we need to check our temperature?
I forgot Walsall. How could I forget Walsall?
Which Walsall?
I'm guessing the one in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Walsall. Where did we mention Walsall?
Interesting. Intriguing minds.
Am I developing Alzheimer's? Have
I don't know,
missed
but
the
I
last
am as
5
well.
minutes? There is a family history of it, so I'm getting worried.
Oh, right. They're getting, we're talking about vaping, that's why.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, there's only so much sex, drugs, and rock and roll that you can do. It gets boring after a while.
Yeah. And let's face it, we are initially a vaping show-ish. Yeah, I always thought Warsaw was in Poland as well. Isn't that the capital of Poland, Warsaw?
Warsaw is. Ah, the link he sent.
Oh, you've sent a link.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did. Hold on. Let me.
Andy, Alzheimer's.
Yes. No, I've slept since then. I'm sorry, Andy. I do apologise. Right, let me see if I can Google through this quickly. It was quite an interesting little news story. Just to slip it in before we leave.
Ooh.
As the actress said. There we are. Yes. Yes, this was from the Birmingham Live. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Andy, because I wanted to talk about this. Illegal vape pens with scarily high levels of nicotine seized in Walsall. There has been a number of these stories, and there was a very interesting one in Teesside Live. And they were talking about the Geek Vape bars, but the pro version. And they came out with the same phrasing, scarily high levels of nicotine. They weren't ridiculously high levels of nicotine. They were the 50 milligram.
That's pretty high, that.
It is high, but they were quoting ridiculous figures like 100, were the equivalent to 120 cigarettes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know,
well, they're going to blow it, no matter what, they're going to blow it out of all proportions, but it is illegal, end of the day. It is illegal in this country to have anything above 20 milligrams.
Now, the Geek Bar Pro, apparently Geek Vape never made one. Now, from what I understood, the Geek Bar Pro was designed for the American market only. So if Geek Vape didn't make it, then somebody's infringing copyright as well.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of Geek Bar clones knocking around as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. What bugs me is the fact that they're also using the word counterfeit with it, because these are legitimate products. They're just designed for the American market. They're not designed for the UK or TPD countries.
Yeah.
Now, the journalists have jumped on this, and they are fanning the fires like you wouldn't believe. And for somebody who has very little knowledge of vaping, these are some quite scary stories, because all they see is nicotine, poison, 120 fags at a time. Those are the things they're going to be walking away with. So, Andy, thank you so much for sending that one. But, I mean, from what I can see, it would appear that trading standards are having a real crackdown on these disposables at the minute.
Yeah. I've heard rumours. How true they are, I don't know. But I've heard rumours that obviously our trading standards. What's the? My brain's gone. The UK VIA.
Yeah.
Are intervening as well regarding disposables. Full stop. But if I remember rightly, IVG now are a member of the UK VIA as well.
Interesting.
And obviously they've got their disposable as well.
You can see why they'd want to protect the market. But
interesting, while we're talking about disposables, I mean, we all know that they're about and everything, and they are what they are. I still haven't had any company, not one single company. I've had loads of companies ask me if I review their disposable pod systems, and I asked them legitimate how to dispose of them. Now, one company, I'm not going to name the actual company, but they're from China, and they've thought about the actual recycling part of it. What they're doing is, yes, it's still a disposable pod system, but the actual tube that they're making is paper. It's a paper tube, like a toilet roll.
Nice idea.
And I thought, now there are certain companies in China that are actually thinking about the environment side of a disposable, which I thought was actually quite good. I know you've got Totally Wicked that will take any disposable, but they're still all plastic and everything. But this company, the actual tube itself is paper. And I thought it was quite interesting, so I did agree to actually review that. And they're actually going to send me the tubes without everything in it to actually show you what it's actually made of.
Nice one. Now, Andy's just raised the other point that I was going to mention in this. There is Gary Perry, this wonderful councillor in Birmingham, does actually say they don't belong in any store but in an incinerator. And as Andy's just pointed out, what he's talking about is incinerating lithium batteries. What a muppet.
You've always got to remember that these people probably either don't smoke, don't vape, and they haven't got a clue what they're talking about, but they think that it's how the media is nowadays. People have an opinion, and that opinion becomes a fact.
And there, my son, you have the root of all the problems of the country.
You do, literally. It's a lot of these news articles are not news articles, they are opinion pieces. And a lot of people just don't know the difference between a news article and an opinion piece.
The bit, mate. I bet if they'd seized a load of anal invader 5000s, Mr. Perry would have probably had more idea about it. He's crazy. Messages.
Wasn't it the Birmingham Post the other week was griping about the NHS supplying, obviously on prescription, e-cigarettes, and then all of a sudden started talking about popcorn law.
Yep. Mike, good evening.
I mean, blooming heck, let's face it. When was diacetyl taken out from e-liquids? Was that so like 2014, 15, somewhere around there?
Around then, yeah.
It must have been. So we've had no diacetyl in e-liquids for 5 years, 6 years, and they're still bringing popcorn up. It's like, just proves how little they know about what they're actually talking about.
Well, it's not that. They're going back through the old scare stories and piecing it all together to throw it into the actual article, aren't they? Yeah, that's the problem.
2016, so yeah.
The recycling crap.
I mean, that was it. I'm sure it was in the Birmingham Post, that one.
Well, the Daily Mail also did it. They threw in popcorn along as well. And if you remember the glass blower.
Oh, God, yeah. He was the first person to die from having an e-cigarette. What they've bypassed to tell you, totally bypassed to tell you, that it was back in 2011 when he died. His occupation was a glass blower. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with it. Dawn, thank you.
Oh, Huggles, babe.
Right, it is 9 o'clock, dude.
It's bedtime.
It is certainly bedtime. I'm sure TVP's on right at this moment.
I said bedtime, not nightmares. Right. Bless. Oh, no. No, if you want to catch him, he's on. Feel free.
He should be already on, so pop over and go and see TVP.
No worries. Right, Mike. I'll tell you what, mate. Fashionably though, because you've got all
mega
your allows in,
fashionably.
and now we're going bye-bye. Funny at SoulOhm.
I'm funny.
Are you?
I'm always funny. I've made you chuckle a few times.
That's a different thing. I say. Stop it. Oh, bless you, Mike. That's a late one, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sod that. There's nothing worse than when you crawl in from work and then it's pretty much the evening's over.
Right, are you going to say your goodbye, sir?
Indeed I am, chaps. Thank you, darlings. Thank you for spending an hour and a half with us. It's been brilliant tonight. It really has. It's been nice chewing the fat about the old stuff. Dear God, Mike.
Ooh, that's a long one.
That's a 40. You're not a nurse, perchance, are you, Mike? Oh, bless you, Bill. Big love to you,
Big
too.
love to you, buddy, as well.
Spanners, thank you so much. Bunny, thank you for catching him. I spotted him, but you got there first. If you've liked what you've seen this evening and you haven't seen us for a while, come back next week. Same time, same place. Hopefully Betty's with us. And it will be the week before we head off into Nottingham.
I will be, blimey.
So we'll have to sort out where we can meet up as well.
Mm.
Yes. So as we said last week, if you fancy meeting up with us, we will be in Nottingham on the 26th for the New Model Army gig. So if you fancy a pint beforehand, give us a shout and we'll get something sorted. So I'm going to hand you over to the ever gorgeous and lovely SoulOhm.
Well, what a fantastic show. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Betty, it's not the same without you, though. It's just not the same without you. We miss you. So get well soon, and I'll hopefully see you next week, kiddo. Guys in chat, you have been absolutely awesome. You really have. I've thoroughly enjoyed our chat about proper vaping. It's been ace.
Oh,
what more can I say? What more can I say? I've just got one favour from you all. If you could give us a thumbs up, that would be brilliant before you leave. It would be absolutely fantastic. See if we can get over about 30. That'd be lovely. If we can hit over 30 likes, that'd be fantastic. Right, we'll wrap this one up. I want to give BFG a big thank you. It's been wonderful. I feel like we did an Tales from the Ohm here.
It's had that vibe tonight, hasn't it?
It definitely has that Tales from the Ohm vibe, definitely. Guys in chat, like I said again, thank you very much for you've been part of the show and it's been fantastic. People on the replay, if you've managed to stay here, big cuddles for you as well. Thank you very much for your support. Do mega appreciate it. So from myself and BFG, we wish you a good night. Have a fantastic weekend and we will see you again on Thursday, 7:30, hopefully with Betty as well. So from myself and BFG,
bye. Will do, Mike. Cheers, B. God bless you. Just the one, buddy. There's two. Goodbye.
I can't find it.
It's not the first time you've said that.
It is.